All right, welcome to Talking Investing. I'm Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to talk about HUT8, stock ticker HUT. They are a Bitcoin mining company. I was waiting for them to put out their monthly operational update, but that is not what I got this morning. This morning, we got a press release that was much bigger than that. They are going through a gigantic transaction. They are merging with another company. So this is really the first big merger inside of the entire Bitcoin mining space. So I want to go through exactly what they're doing and what it means to the company and what the company is going to look like coming out of the other end of this, assuming that is that the shareholders for each company agree to this merger. So if you're new to the channel or you have not yet subscribed, please remember to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. You can also become a member of the channel by hitting the join button. The join button is right next to the subscribe button on the YouTube page. If you don't see the join button, there should be a link below in the description. Members get some members-only privileges, including members-only content. We have quite a bunch of content built up over the last several months that is there and waiting for new members. In addition to that, we have a members-only live stream every Tuesday after the market closes. So that's actually today after the market closes, we will have a members-only live stream. And on that live stream, members get to pick a company for me to do a deep dive video on each week. So we would love to have you join us. It helps support the channel. It's much appreciated. Let's talk about HUT8 and what's going on. Let's get right to their press release. Okay, so this came out this morning. HUT8 and US Bitcoin announced merger of equals to create a preeminent digital asset mining, hosting, managed infrastructure operations, and high-performance computing organization. So you can see this is a big merger. They're calling it a merger of equals. I'm going to dig into that a little bit deeper. They are essentially splitting the stock 50-50 between the existing shareholders of the two companies. However, I do think that HUT8 is by far the dominant player in this, and you'll see why as we talk later about how the new company is structured. The first thing is the new company is going to be called HUT8. Okay, here's some of the summary bullet points. Transaction is expected to dramatically enhance trajectory of the digital asset mining business. 5.6 exahash installed self-mining capacity at 5 sites across North America. That 5.6 exahash does not include North Bay, where they are in a dispute with Validus, their power energy provider. This represents substantial growth. This more than doubles their exahash rate overnight. Combined company diversification strategy to expand significantly, establishing new fiat revenue generating lines of business. So as you guys know, HUT8 has created a high performance computing center, and it is their strategy, although they consider themselves a Bitcoin miner first, it is very important to them that they remain diversified and have other streams of fiat income in order to pay the bills. So this is going to continue to diversify their company and create new streams of revenue. Gross energy across self-mining, hosting, and managed infrastructure operation sites totaling approximately 825 megawatts. So that is a substantial increase from where they're at right now. And that makes them one of the big players. One of the things that this does is it puts HUT8 back into the conversation. There were 3 or 4 companies that had some pretty massive growth in 2022. HUT8 was in hibernation a little bit, and intentionally so. They were waiting out the crypto winter. Just as recently as last night on my live stream, somebody asked me, how much longer should I be worried if we don't hear anything from HUT? Because they have not bought any new machines in over a year, and they haven't done anything to expand. So my knee-jerk reaction to that last night was, I would give them a couple of more months. So far, it seems like they've played this the right way, but I would start to get nervous in, 2 or 3 months if I don't hear something from HUT. So sure enough, the very next day, this gigantic news comes out. So this is game-changing news for them. It puts them back into the conversation with those 3 or 4 other Bitcoin miners that had grown substantially in 2022. This goes a long way to catch them right back up and leave them in that top 5 conversation as far as who's the top 5 Bitcoin miners. Okay, transaction expected to accelerate achievement of ESG objectives by adding renewable energy and zero carbon emissions energy from wind, hydro, and nuclear sources. This has been a very big thing for HUT8. They're looking to improve their ESG. They want to be environmentally friendly in particular, and their current mix was a lot of natural gas. So they were looking to find a way to expand in a more carbon neutral way, and this definitely accomplishes that. Okay, now here's one of the reasons why I think that although this is a merger of equals, really the company that comes out of the other end of this really is still Hut 8. Bill Tai to maintain role as board chair. So the Hut 8 board chair is going to be the chairman of the new company. Jamie Leverton to continue as CEO. Michael Ho to become chief strategic officer. So he was the co-founder of US Bitcoin. So that will be his role in the new company. And then Shanif Visram is to continue as the CFO. So he's the current CFO of Hut 8. So the vast majority of the management team and the chairman of the board will all come forward from Hut 8. Now, all the Hut 8 board has approved this. US Bitcoin's board has approved this, so it does have to go through a shareholder vote to get to the finish line, but it looks like this is going to be a done deal. There's another pretty big thing that they're doing in here. The combined company is to be named Hut 8 Corp and domiciled in the United States. So this is actually a very important move by Hut 8. Right now, they are a Canadian company. They trade on both the Canadian exchange and the NASDAQ exchange. Unfortunately, companies domiciled outside of the US tend to have a harder time generating institutional buying and institutional interest. It's also harder for them to become a part of certain indexes. So in doing this move and becoming domiciled in the United States, I think this opens a lot of doors for them, and I think this opens a lot of potential equity and debt raises for them, as well as a lot of potential institutional investors. Okay, another very big, potentially unexpected change for me was Jamie Leverton said the following: "This transaction has given us the opportunity to leverage the significant unencumbered Bitcoin stack we have hodled to date. During the interim period, we plan to cover our operating costs through a combination of selling the Bitcoin we mine, selling our stack, and or exploring various debt options." So they have hodled for years. The last 2 years, they've hodled 100% of everything that they've mined. They've been adamant that they want to maintain that stack. So this is a pretty fundamental shift in what they're doing now. They may feel that this merger is the culmination of hodling their stack, and that is what has allowed them to scale up in this way. This is a significant scale up for them. They are going to stop diluting the company, and they're going to start selling their Bitcoin. So the first thing they say is they're going to sell their Bitcoin that they mine on a monthly basis, and then if necessary, they're going to sell from their stack. They will also consider various debt options in lieu of selling from their stack. To finish up, Jamie says, upon a successful close of the transaction, we will take the opportunity to carefully review and determine our go-forward treasury strategy. So, in the interim, this is how they're going to take care of business. If this gets approved by all the shareholders and they merge, and this happens in, hopefully a reasonably short period of time, they will then go back to the drawing board and take a look at their treasury strategy, meaning, are they going to hodl their Bitcoin? Are they going to do some hybrid approach? So that remains to be seen. But in the interim, as this merger is occurring, they will be selling Bitcoin for the first time in years. The other thing that they're going to effectively be doing in here has to do with their stock. Shareholders of Hut 8 will receive for each Hut 8 share 0.2 of a share of New Hut. So they're using New Hut as the new company. They will receive 0.2 shares of New Hut common stock, which will effectively result in a consolidation of the Hut 8 shares on a 5-to-1 basis. What that actually means is, inside of all of this, to accomplish their goals, they're actually doing a 5-to-1 reverse stock split effectively. So all the current shareholders of Hut 8 will end up owning 50% of the new company. All the current shareholders of US Bitcoin will end up holding 50% of the shares of the new company. In order to effect that without generating a massive number of shares, at the same time, they're going to simultaneously do a 5-to-1 reversal. So this should bring their total shares, once they do the reversal and add the new shares for their partner, it looks to me like they're going to have 80 or 90 million shares going forward. And this is also going to significantly increase their market cap. So this will put them very close to Marathon's market cap if their stock maintains its price. So they say right here, the aggregate consideration implies a combined market capitalization of approximately $990 million. So we'll see where that lands in the end. Strengthened financial position and flexibility. New Hut is expected to generate monthly recurring fiat hosting revenues from long-term clients, Bitcoin mining sites looking to maximize the potential of their facilities through managed infrastructure operations, from equipment sales to customers, and from micro BT certified repair center businesses servicing customers across North America and Northern Europe. So you can see they're generating a lot of fiat lines of revenue in order to pay the bills. So I suspect that this means they're hoping to go back to at least some hybrid form of a hodl strategy when they are all said and done and finally merged. I'm speculating. Maintain commitment to advance the high-performance computing traditional data center business. So a year ago, they bought a new business, this high-performance data centers. They're going to continue to develop that as well. Creates a strengthened, proven, and trusted senior leadership team and board of directors with a track record of value creation. Grows the pipeline of opportunity, enhances position in one of the world's high potential Bitcoin mining regions. The merger solidifies New Hut as a Bitcoin mining entity with operating capacity at high-quality sites in Alberta, Canada, and Texas, Nebraska, and New York in the United States. So right now, all of their Bitcoin mining is in Canada, so this is going to diversify where they're mining. It's also going to diversify their energy mix, as we talked about earlier, which leads to the next point, advances commitment to driving improvement across all ESG metrics. Transaction summary and timing. They go on to say the arrangement will require the approval of at least 66 2/3% of the votes cast by the shareholders of Hut 8 voting at a special meeting of Hut 8's shareholders. The merger is also subject to approval of US BTC stockholders. So stockholders on both ends need to have final approval of this. That seems highly likely, although it is not a given. The officers and directors of both companies have agreed to put their support and their full voting support into this merger already, so that's a big head start. It is anticipated that the meeting and the receipt of the written consent of US BTC stockholders will occur in the second quarter of 2023. Closing is expected to occur thereafter, subject to satisfaction of the closing conditions under the business combination agreement. So that is important to understand, is that this is going to take several months. So we're looking at somewhere in the second quarter of 2023. So this could be 3 or 4 months away. My quick takeaways of this is essentially, number one, they're going to become a U.S. company. Number two, this is a 50-50 merger, so the stock is going to get split 50-50. Having said that, management is going to remain largely the management of Hut 8. They're effectively doing a 1-to-5 reverse stock split with New Hut, which should leave them with somewhere between 80 and 90 million shares. This immediately increases their exahash to 5.6, and that does not include the North Bay exahash, which is currently turned off because they're in a dispute with Validus. It increases their renewable energy mix. They are going to sell some of their Bitcoin from operations and from their hodl stack if needed, so that is a significant change to their current policy. The chairman of the new company will be Hut 8's chairman. The CEO of the new company will be Jamie Leverton, Hut 8's CEO, and the CFO of the new company will be Hut 8's current CFO. So the management team will go forward into this new company. And lastly, this is going to increase their revenue diversity. This is going to bring in a lot of new forms of fiat revenue where they hope to be able to pay their bills with. So those are my big takeaways. Also, obviously, this is not a done deal yet, and we're going to have to wait 2 or 3 or 4 months before we know that this is actually happening. So this was big, big news. This is actually not at all what I expected. So I'm digesting this right now. I wanted to get you guys the details of this before I make any judgments on it. I do think that this is a big, big play. I think we were all expecting something big from Hut 8 sooner than later. Well, here it is. This is what they're doing. So I will probably do a follow-up video at some time over the next week to see what my thoughts are as to how this is going to affect their stock price going forward. But as far as how it affects their company, this seems to be a very positive strategic move in my personal opinion. So again, this is not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence. Obviously, this is a massive change to the structure of their organization. So that's all I've got for you on the Hut 8 update. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to subscribe to the channel, and please feel free to join and become a member and support the channel by hitting the join button. Thanks again for watching, and we will see you in the next video.